Okay, I'm gonna give my thoughts on Anthem here, for the most part, because this game wasn't quite on my radar as far as things I was gonna play. But I was given an opportunity to play the beta, or not the beta, the demo. So I put in about 4.5 hours or so into it, and these are my thoughts, I guess. I'm gonna be playing live just because I thought about just doing a recording and all other stuff, but I kind of want to show, I guess, specific things, I suppose. Although I don't know if I'll ever get to gunplay or anything like that. But overall, I liked the demo experience quite a bit, which is kind of crazy because it's not really my kind of game, or at least it wouldn't be the first game that I would go to. It's definitely outside of my comfort zone, and it's probably just not something that I would be interested in playing. Like Destiny, I've never played Destiny before. I've seen lots of streamers play it, and I've seen lots of gameplay videos and things like that. But for the most part, I knew like this is not really my kind of game. But you know, I didn't have to pay for this one, so I just got a demo code. Um, so yeah, like surprisingly, it was pretty enjoyable. Some things that stand out for me are basically that it is kind of Destiny. Again, I have not played Destiny. I've only ever seen it being played. But me playing this game, it to me it feels like this is what Destiny would play like. There are obviously differences, like you can fly for a brief amount of time in this game, and you can hover and things like that. But it it really is kind of surprising. Um, the shooting in this game is actually nicer than I expected as well. It's kind of clean. I'll probably get to that a little bit later, but it's not as complicated, I suppose. And I was expecting some complications. There are weak points on bosses and enemies. I don't know if I'll ever get to see this enemy during this little like whatever I'm doing here, but like there's this enemy that has a flamethrower and he shoots fire, and he has like these gas canisters on him, and if you shoot those, he you do more damage to him. So I thought that was really really cool, and that type of mechanic also translates over to bosses, where normally if you hit them in their non-weak spots, you're going to do significantly reduced or zero damage. But if you hit them in their weak spots, you're multiplying your damage by a lot, like double damage, 1.5 damage, etc. The possible verticality in levels is cool. The demo is kind of limited. I've played through the whole story basically, and I've just been running around doing free play. But there's at least with the storm, which is the javelin that I'm currently using. It's just kind of really really cool that you don't have to stay on the ground all the time. You can go all over the place. Let me see. Abilities are nice and seem varied, and the javelin customization is surprisingly robust. And that's why I started on this screen, because um, each javelin has a variety of different things that they can do. So, like, this is the storm, which it was the first unlock that I had grabbed. But the ranger is what you first start off with. Um, and you can I don't know if there's 5 customizations for the ranger. I tried to check, but I failed miserably for that. Um, so just okay. Well, it doesn't want to let me do that, but whatever. So like with the storm, or the whatever this guy's name, I don't remember. Storm. He started off with like this lightning ability that called down this uh lightning bolt, and it did like massive AoE damage. It was really, really cool. I haven't found another one of those, and apparently that was the default because I can't equip it anymore. I don't know if that's a bug or something like that, but it was really, really cool. I was hoping to find another one. I did not. What I currently have equipped is an ice storm. It shoots like 4 or 5 little ice grenade thingies in a straight line. And after the last one, it shoots a big one, and it does big AoE damage, and it freezes people, and you can use frozen people to do combos and things like that. We have this fire flame burst one that where your mouse cursor is, you can cause like fire explosions. You can do that about 5 times before it has to recharge. And that one's really, really cool. But there's this living flame one that I have not tried yet. And apparently it goes through walls. So I'm going to try that one. And these are kind of these abilities that you can use in between shooting or while you're moving around and things like that to help vary up the gameplay. And they are super, super nice. So that one is like an offensive one, I guess. You get like two offensive abilities. And then this one is the other offensive ability. I started off with frost shards, which are kind of boring. They just shoot like these little frost shards, but you get like 10 of them, which is really, really nice because they're just like they're just like refillable ammo. And so you can just kind of shoot them, and then when you run out, you start shooting your gun again, and by then you probably have 3 or 4 left, and you can start freezing enemies again. This is what I currently have equipped, Arc Burst. I like this one a lot. It does a lot of electricity damage, and I think electricity damage does more damage to shields and things like that. So you charge it up, and then you shoot it at somebody, and it hits them for like 800 or 600 electricity damage, and then it bounces to someone else and does reduced damage. It's really, really nice. I dig it. This one I just picked up today, Glacial Spear, and I'm going to try that one out. I've never seen that one. But yeah, you know, you have some options here. I don't know what that symbol means right there. And then weapons. You can equip 2 types of weapons. I don't think there's any weapons that you need, or that are exclusive to one particular class or anything like that. So I have a sniper rifle currently. And there's things like machine pistols, light machine guns, heavy pistols, assault rifles. There's probably a heavy machine gun in here somewhere. Obviously, I have a sniper rifle. Oh, shotgun. I didn't even know there was shotguns. So, you know, etc. And then something I've never actually done before is you can salvage. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so I go back to sniper rifle over here and salvage stuff. I think gives me just crafting materials. Okay, it shows up crafting materials right above me. I guess it's just weapon parts. Maybe that symbol means you cannot salvage it. But interesting stuff. And then you can use crafting materials to craft stuff. So let me see if I can just craft something. Oh, no epic stuff, but I can craft one of these, it looks like. So hold enter to craft item. Not letting me do this. Oh, what a horrible kind of walkthrough thingy through this. Do I have to craft like the basic version first? No, because alright, well, doesn't want to let me craft that, but that's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Anyways, So there's a decent variety of weapons out there, and so it's kind of nice. Oh, one thing I did not touch on is right up here. Um, Weapons have like these little bonuses and things like that. So like the sniper rifle has health drop chance and ammo drop chance on it, and this light machine gun does some other stuff. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting anything like that from this game. Then there's the component section. Components, at least so far, only seem to uh, give you like passive bonuses. So like right now I have one that does shield reinforcement, which basically just improves my shield. And as a storm, I think my shield is my most important thing because I have like no HP because I'm a squisher. But I just picked up some things like sniper rifle ammo and stuff like that, which I wasn't expecting. Um, Things that increases your armor, things that increase your damage. It's pretty cool. Ultimate augmentation, which I can show an ultimate later on if I remember. But that stuff is pretty cool. And then there's support skills, which are support skills. So right now I have a wind wall, which is basically a shield that you can put in front of you or long distance. It's kind of obnoxious to use, but it blocks projectiles for a certain amount of time and a certain amount of health. Really, really nice. I dig it a lot. And so that's pretty much the javelin customization, and I'm a big fan of the javelin customization, with the exception of appearance. Um, the appearance, I feel like everything is exactly the same. Like nothing is quite varied enough for my liking. And you could unlock certain things, but not really what I want. Like, can we get some reds or some greens, some yellows, some oranges? It's just a lot of whites and a lot of like metallic chromes and things like that. Not a lot of colors. And it's pretty consistent that way throughout the entire thing. That's basically all the colors that you get. Um, there are some custom paint jobs though that you can get. I just don't know where they are. But you can do that. You can buy like new legs and arm slots and things like that, and all kinds of other stuff. Apparently, you can get emotes, which I wasn't aware of, and stuff like that. Uh, Fine, it's fine. Oh, here we go. These are the ones. They cost coins, so let's go ahead and equip that one or purchase that one. I have a bunch of coins, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that's great. So yeah, stuffs. So that's basically javelin customization. I like the different variety of customizations in it. It is super, super nice. This will transition me into some of the I guess dislikes, or some of the things that just stand out on the negative level, we'll say. One, the game world doesn't really feel that alive or anything like that, which you could say, well, that shouldn't matter all that much, and you know what, that shouldn't matter all that much. It's really not that big of a deal. You're not really playing this game for the game world to be alive. Well, maybe some people are, but one of the biggest issues with this game, or at least the demo, is the loading screens are really, really long. I actually got stuck on a loading screen last night, and I guess it's just kind of disappointing. I think there's an ammo problem in this game as well, where your guns have ammo, and if you run out of ammo, you're kind of stuck using your abilities, and the only way to get ammo back is to kill enemies. And so your abilities are on timers for recharges and things like that. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and ammo is not the easiest thing to see either. So that's kind of one of my biggest criticisms thus far is I personally would wish that ammo was not a thing. That load screen was actually not too bad, surprisingly. Let me see. Bullet sponge enemies may not be an issue now, but I anticipate it will be in the future. Enemies don't really have that much HP unless they're like very specific enemies. There's different variety of enemies. There's elite enemies, there's legendary enemies, there's enemies with shields, there's enemies with armor. It's kind of nice that things are varied in that way. But at some point HP is gonna have to go up and damage is gonna have to go down, I guess, you know, eventually. And at that point, you know, you're gonna run into some issues there. So, you know, I don't know what you want to do there. All right, so let's try out this ice javelin thing. Gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, so that's ammo right there. That was some big damage. So I guess kind of what I'm trying to do right now is just look for like an overworld mission. One of the things you can do is there's these like missions that spawn during free play, and you can do them to get, you know, like loot and things like that. Yeah. Let's see. What else did I want to touch on? Let's... Is that homing? That did not home on anything. A lot of dudes. Many whelps. A lot more than I was hoping here. Wanted to move on. Another thing, which I think is kind of cool.
They are retreating. Full speed too.
Right. Is I have this cooled buff like way over there. And when you're in water, you get that cooled buff, which reduces overheating. And so if I were to like sit here, because this is like one of the storm's abilities, is like you can kind of like float in the air for a really extended period of time, and it's really, really cool. But if you look towards the center of the screen and down, you'll see like this this white bar, and it's slowly filling up. That is the I don't know, like how much time you can stay in the air, basically. And for a storm, it slowly fills up while you're floating, while everyone else kind of fills up at a gradual rate. However, if you're near water, you get the cooled buff, and it stops filling up. Really, really cool. As far as I can tell, it's really the only mechanic that you can get to stay in the air longer. There was a support component that gives like 10% extra fly speed or something like that, or overheat something. But I thought that was a really neat mechanic because, you know, if you just fly near water, you essentially fly forever. Essentially. I probably won't be able to show any like bullet sponge enemies, sadly. QQ on that. Let me see. World. Oh, you can't see what loot you get. You can't see what loot you get until you visit a forge. In the E3 demo, they showed the opposite with a legendary weapon. So if I were to, I think it's I for inventory. So if you check out your inventory, they have like these feat things, which I think are just things that give you like experience and stuff like that if you accomplish them. But then you can get like these currencies, and then right below that, you'll get these little like diamonds that denote that you have loot, but you cannot see what's in those loot. You have to go back to the forge to actually see that. And it might seem like a minor thing, but I was actually oh, so there's one of them right here. This is one of those diamond things that I was talking about. This is a blue or a green loot item, I guess. And you know, uncommon item. And if I go over here, see it shows uncommon item, but I need to visit a forge. You know, I can't see what it is right now. I cannot equip it right now. And I believe that is a Destiny thing. If I remember correctly, Destiny does that. And at least to my recollection, I don't remember people being a fan of that. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Let me see, what else? Oh, so I was saying world population and variety is going to likely be an issue. The map is actually... it's not as big as I thought it would be, but it is the demo, so there's a lot of places I can't go. Like I can't go over here. You know, there's a lot of places that you can't go. But like if I'm scrolling to the very, very top and then, you know, scrolling just kind of all over the place, there's not that many places to go, at least presumably at launch, presumably. And so that might actually be a decent issue. I don't know what happened there. Color variety for javelins isn't high. I kind of went over that. There's really only like a couple of variations of the same color plus like some metallic colors, which isn't that great. I mentioned loading screens are kind of long. We're in one right now. Moving underwater is awful. Absolutely awful. You can increase or decrease the sensitivity in the options, which is really nice, and that's independent of all your other movement options. But oh my goodness, when I first entered water, it was last night, I could not for the life of me get the controls down properly. It's like flying, but it has a higher sensitivity to it. I wish I could find some underwater here to show you guys, but that's gonna be kind of difficult, I think. Let me see. Flying controls aren't my preferred type, but you can increase and decrease the sensitivity as well. That was something that was actually very, very important for me, because last night I was having a really hard time getting the flying to be the perfect control type that I wanted. Today, I reduced the sensitivity, and it's much easier to control the flying, so that's nice. I just would prefer not to fly in the manner that it has. Oh, is it gonna be... So last night it was stuck at that particular point in the demo, and so I hope it doesn't get stuck there again. And the last point that I have written down, I'll probably have to Alt F4 after this, because I wanted to show loot, and now I can't even show like what the loot screen looks like and all this other stuff. But I'm concerned about boss variety, and not necessarily like boss mechanics or boss models and things like that, but in the sense of it seems for every boss, it's going to be comprised of two different phases: the boss phase and the ad phase. And you need, for the way that the game is built right now, you have to have the ad phase because that's the only way to get HP drops and ammo drops. And I think that is a drastic limit on I guess the boss mechanics, the boss functions of this game. You probably can't have too much variety if you're going to do that. And so that's probably something that will become a problem later on. I don't know, maybe Destiny has a good solution for that. Not sure. Haven't seen all too many bosses to really give any conclusion. I've only fought 2 bosses in the Anthem demo. One of them was exactly as it is. You had the boss, you would fight the boss, and eventually the boss would leave, and a bunch of ads would spawn, and you would kill them. You would get ammo, you would get HP, and then the boss would respawn again. That was the second boss. The first boss was the boss, and then enemies were just constantly spawning. That was extremely difficult to deal with. I died many times. It was on hard difficulty too. They ramped that up. But yeah, that is all of my thoughts on Anthem so far. I would say overall, this is not a game that I'm going to probably play. Certainly by myself. Maybe with friends, maybe down the line or something like that, you know. But it's not really my type of game. And on top of that, it's kind of weird to say that because I actually do like what I've played so far. I'm just concerned about the longevity of me liking the game as it is. Well, that is I guess the biggest concern is the longevity. Can it hold up to every, well, it's competition Destiny, but can it also keep the players in its gameplay type, I suppose? But I'm stuck in the loading screen, so I'm not going to be able to really show anything else. But I mean, overall, the game seems fine based off of the demo, but I see problems arising later on. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. I will see you when I see you next. Have a good day. Peace.